Hello,
Hello, craft.
oh
Oh
my
my
goodness.
goodness.
One
One
moment.
moment.
I'm
I'm
I messed this up when I was setting this up, and then I had to re-enter the number, and I forgot to turn the audio off. So, beg your forgiveness here. One moment, and we are just going to put this number in. We have turned the connect to audio off, so we hopefully don't get feedback, but then I will be able to have this up and see what's going on and all that stuff. Turn that off. There we go. Okay, I think we're good. Just need to find me again. Okay. So hello, crafting friends, take two. Some mornings are like that, right? And when I first tried to set up the Zoom stuff, it looked a little different than usual. And now my Facebook thing's looking a little different too. Let me see if I can just get this to go bigger. Let's see. There we go. Okay. Okay. I think we're good. Oh goodness. You think you've got it all down pat, and technology just gives you a little, hey, don't forget, I'm technology, I'm the boss, right? It's kind of like the pets, We think there our pets really were their masters and all that stuff. But anyway, good morning, good morning, good morning. I am coming to you live from my craft studio in Wasaga Beach, Ontario. And that is in Canada because I am an independent Canadian demonstrator for Stampin' Up. So happy to have you join me this morning. Say good morning. I'm a little bit take two is anyway, we will get there. We will do some crafting. Couple things I just want to mention right off the top. It is now February. And if you placed an order in January and earned bonus days coupons, now is the time to use them. You can redeem all of those coupons on one order. You can spread them out through orders over the month, but I'd say, first order, just, get them on there. New product of the month, some really awesome designer series paper, beautiful colors, different pattern than we have seen in a lot of our um, past papers. So really fun. And you can get that for just $5 with any $100 purchase. Now that $100 is after you apply any discounts or coupons or Stampin' Rewards or bonus days or any of that sort of thing. So just be careful. The system won't let you put it on if your sales total after the discounts is under $100. So watch for that. If you didn't earn bonus days coupons, or even if you did, um, and you're looking for a great Stampin' deal, now is an awesome time to join the Great Stampin' Believers team. There is a join promotion on, and so you get that awesome starter kit, $165 of any products you select, completely customizable. You pay just $135 for that. No shipping on there. In Ontario, there's also no tax on there. Um, and it will come to you with an extra bonus inside. The brand new exclusive for new demonstrators Stampin' Positioning Tool. It has just been released, and you can get it added to your starter kit for no additional cost if you join this month. So come join the Great Stampin' Believers team. We would love to have you. We take everyone, whether you want to do this to have a little bit of a business, to maybe earn a little income to help pay for one of your bills, or whether you just want to share it with friends, whether you're just a happy shopper. It does not matter what your reasons are, and everybody has their own reason, and many of us have very different reasons for joining, but there's no right or wrong reasons. It's just always the right decision to join. So love to have you. Reach out to me if you want more info on that. But let's do some crafting, shall we? Okay. Head down here to the craft space. Got my silicone mat at the ready because I will be doing some gluing. And so today's card is not, it's not really difficult, but it's, you have to be careful as you're putting it together because it gets a little tricky, confusing kind of thing. Here it is. It's a pinwheel, uh, using up a 1 inch strip of designer series paper. So another great way to use up smaller pieces. And you don't have to have the 12 inches that I put in the directions. I just wanted to tell you that if you're cutting paper, just cut a 12-inch strip, and that will do you for all of this. We're going to cut it up as we go, but you can certainly use smaller strips. Okay? So there's the card. I'm just going to leave that up there for now. I am going to bring in some supplies for my first card here. So I have a Daffodil Delight standard card base. Give that just a little bit of a fold. I have scored it at 4 1/4. It is, of course, 8.5 by 5.5. And now it is 5.5 by 4 1/4, which is a standard card base. Then I have, oh, I left my sheet over by my cutter. Let me grab it really quick, just so I don't mess up and give you wrong sizing or anything. I even looked at it as I was preparing my pieces and thought, don't forget to take that back to your desk when you go. Yes. Anyway, okay, cardstock, 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. Okay, and then you have, I've used the same color. I put in the instructions to use the same color, but you can switch it up. No rules here. Two 1 by 1 squares of cardstock. Okay, and then we have a piece of basic white, and that is 5 by 3 3/4. And then we have our designer series paper strip that is 12 by 1 right now. But I am going to bring in my trimmer. We're going to do a little bit of cutting and a little bit of scoring. Okay, so let me just bring this down a little bit. I'm actually going to move this out of the way so my trimmer's not sitting on that. Okay, so now these pieces of designer series paper are going to be a little longer than we need. We'll trim them afterwards. It's just easy measurements. Okay, so we're going to cut this at 4 inches. Okay, and 2 3/4, and 2 and 2. Okay, so 4, 2 3/4, 2 and 2. Okay, and then you have a little bit of a scrap left over that we don't need. Okay, so that is your DSP. 4 inches, so it's 4 by 1, 2 3/4 by 1, 2 by 1, and 2 by 1. Okay, then we're going to bring in those 1 inch squares that we have, and we are going to cut them in half on the diagonal. You can use just your snips for this. So you're just going to put your scissors at one end and cut in one cut. Try not to do it in multiple cuts so you don't get any ridges. Just cut it right in half. That's the fastest and the easiest. But if you want to use your trimmer, you're going to put your points in your cutting groove. And remember, whenever you're, oh, this might be a little tricky. It's very small. When you're cutting on a diagonal, you always want to start with your cutting blade in the middle. I don't know whether you can see, but I'm not coming right from the very top. There, I've started in the middle and I go up and I go down. And that way we don't smush the corners of our diagonal cut. Okay. Then we are going to bring in our basic white cardstock, and we are going to score it. So let's put this dark cutting blade right out of the way. We're going to put it at 1.5. Okay. And I'm going to give it a decent score, but we're not folding on this score line. We're just using it to see, to get our placement for our strips. Okay, so got a score line there. Then I'm going to turn it clockwise, and I'm going to score it at 1.5 again. Okay. And now, if this shows up here, hopefully you can see. Well, but can you see the score line there? And ooh, a little bit harder to see this other one if I turn it this way. There, now you can see that one too. Okay, so we have two score lines. They meet right there, and that'll help us with the placement for our cardstock. Okay, so here's the ever so slightly tricky bit. I am going to place my paper down here. Okay. And it doesn't really matter exactly where, but I've got this just over the score line. Okay. And I'm going to put this one down. I'm going to put these 2-inch pieces down. So they are meeting at the corners of my score lines. Okay. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to put these triangles down. And you want to take the time to do this because this is where you can get really messed up if you don't have things set up properly. You can get really confused about which way is up, shall we say. Okay, so that's what's going to make our pinwheel. Okay? And it all comes together when you put all your papers on your score lines and then you lay your triangles down. Now, if you look at these triangles, if I turn these very carefully so my triangles don't all fly off, I turn these, you can also see that they are all on the paper the same way. Okay, so they're all touching the top right corner. So that's another good check that you've got things set up properly. So I'm just going to slide this way a little bit. I'm going to bring in my silicone mat and I am going to glue these down. Okay. I tried doing some other configurations and I was probably rushing, I will admit, but it just wasn't quite, whoops, coming together. And I had squares in the center and I had other sort of shapes, and it's like, okay, stop this. It's not working. And I don't think I'd put my strips down appropriately on the score lines. So you really want to take a minute. Why do these look small? They are not going all the way across. I had this earlier too. I brought some other paper because it seems like I can't cut a 1-inch square well. So I'm going to bring in my little guy. I'm going to cut 1 inch. To cut it on the diagonal. I guess I should double check this too. Might be just slightly wider than 1 inch, which doesn't help. So we'll check those as well. Just see here. Maybe just a smidgy smidge. I'm going to take that off. Might as well take a peek at all of these while we're here, just to see. Maybe I'll glue the others down first, so we don't have bits and pieces flying everywhere. But see, this is one of those crafting moments where you can fix anything. You just kind of trim stuff and shape it, double check, because it is so easy to, you put something just a little bit past the line, past the center, past the corner, whatever, as you're cutting and things, and then it might show up later because there's just enough of a difference that you can see it. So we'll get these all glued down and then we'll fix our designer series paper if we need to. Because in the end, when you get it all together, of course, nobody notices any of those things. It's when we are creating and we're creating in isolation, we tend to be we tend to scrutinize things a little bit more, don't we? Because we're looking at all the little bits individually. And later, someone just looks at the card. They don't, they don't look at this looks different. I wonder what I've got going on here. Just give me half a second here. Because I'm not sure what I've got going on. Okay. That and that. See if, okay, it's maybe. Okay, that looks better. There we go. And there's Michelle. Hello. Hello, Michelle. I'm sorry. I didn't have the right screen up and things weren't coming through and everything was looking odd. Okay, so clear some of these bits out of the way. I'm going to throw away this glue-laden piece just so I don't set anything into it. And we're just going to double check these last two pieces because I think my designer series paper was just a tiny bit wider than it needed to be. So just fixing it up. There we go. All right, so now we have our 4 pieces and I've moved them all around. So hopefully I can get them back together. We're good. We're good. We're going to start with this long one again, just because that's what I did. And I'm going to glue that just on top of this score line. Okay, so it'll be very close. Just hiding it a little bit. You can use a pencil as well to draw those 1.5 inch lines as your guide. You would just need to go back then to erase them if you have them showing. Oh, I should have my silicone mat under this because my papers are longer than we need. Remember, we said they were a little bit longer, but it was just nice, easy measurements, and we would cut it later. So, whoop. Okay, so now we just lay these back down onto our card, and we want to be covering up. You can't really see because I've covered it up, but we're covering up the score line. Okay, so I'm covering this one, but I'm just above that one below it so that when I put this piece in, it will cover all the way out. Well, not a lot of silicone out there. Move it up a little bit because yes, there was glue on the end. Just a smidge. There we go. There's a good reason for the liquid glue because then you can give it a little tug and fix the positioning. Yeah, it's a fun design, isn't it? Michelle had mentioned that she loves this design. I love it too. And this is not my design, but my good friend Lorna shared this with me. It was another demonstrator that had put it together, and she saw it. She passed it on. She said, "Oh, this is fun." She suggested that it would not work well for mystery stamping. I think that it would not. It might be difficult to tell people to get those triangles in the right places. But there we go. They are all down, and now we can just flip it over, and we are going to trim these pieces off. This, when you're doing this sort of thing at the end of your crafting session, you probably want to give your scissors a little bit of a wash because it's probably going to be some glue on them. That's okay. All right, so there we have that. And then we're going to bring in our real red cardstock. And again, this was 5 1/8 by 3 7/8, which is a narrow border for this. So I'm using the liquid glue again so that I can kind of wiggle it around. That's a very narrow border. I am going to trim this down a bit. Okay, so I did not get my cutting going on very well, did I? 3 7/8. I'm just going to take a little bit off of that. It looks like it is. Maybe perhaps my real red was a little bit smaller than it should have been. We're just going to take a little bit off of there so that we have a little more border area. Best to do this before you put the glue on, but you know, let's see what we have now. This is still, what did I do wrong here? What is this? This is 3 7/8. Did I cut this? Oh, this is supposed to be 3 3/4. I did totally cut this wrong. Right? Basic plate, 3 3/4. That's way over here. That is why, ooh, that's why we don't have any border showing, because I was looking at the wrong sizing when I cut that piece. Okay, try this once more. And look, when you cut it the right size, it leaves that lovely little border. Oh no! Okay, put the lid on your glue, Connie, before you make a huge mess, because the next border, it is a little bit larger, and here's an option, okay? You can put this down flat, or you can put this on dimensionals, whatever you wish. But before you put it down, and we maybe even should have done this before we put it on the red, but we did not. So we are moving on from that as well. And we are going to put a sentiment on here. So somewhere in here, I thought I still had It's Your Day. Yes, I do. Which is fabulous for a birthday, but it's also flexible enough that you could use it for something else if you're celebrating something else. Friday morning challenges. Oh, is that what it is? Does that mean uh, you know, get them out of the way before the weekend starts, and then the weekend will go smooth? That let's go with that. So we're just going to put this right down here. You could put this up top. You could put this on another piece of paper. And in fact, when you mess this up, or if you mess this up, I should say, I shouldn't say when, but you know, it does happen, doesn't it? We stamp our sentiment. We go, oh, that's not really straight, or that didn't stamp well for whatever reason. Then you put another layer on for you. You would do, and this is not the right color, but you know, you would come in with this, and then no one would know. See, because anything can be fixed. Well, pretty much anything. Maybe not everything, but almost anything. Okay, close that up before we get ink where we don't want it. And then I think I will put this on dimensionals just for fun. So for my next challenge, thought I would do, because I said you could do this card portrait or landscape, and you can, of course. Most patterns. Good morning, Janet. Uh, most layouts can be done either way. Some do work better one way than the other way, but this one, you just have to, you know, adjust your sentiment. So we'll give it a go. We'll see if we can get the pinwheel points coming together properly. Okay, so there we go. That's on there. And then what I like to do is put a gem right in the middle of the pinwheel, just because it hides any little gaps you might have, and because it looks good. These are darling duckling. Yeah, they're not quite right. What else do we have in here? Uh, let's I didn't actually pull gems out for this card. I probably should have. We have gold. Oh, no. Oh, ooh, some sparkle. Maybe some sparkle. Look at these. These are druzy adhesive uh, backed embellishments, and they are not new. We have had them for a while, but the last time I checked, they were still current. You love the color combinations, Michelle. Yeah, it's nice. It's bright, isn't it? It's bright. It's happy. It kind of pops. And then if we put this on, we'll have some sparkle. I'm going to put, these are also nice and large, so these are perfect for this. That, woo! Bling! Some good sparkle. And then, I don't know where we want to go with these. Let's start there. And up there. Maybe we'll just put one right down in here, shall we? Right down in about there, 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 there. Maybe we'll go up to the top with this one. I went down on the bottom with some of the others, but there we go. That. Okay, I'd say quick and easy, but I suppose that had some challenges for us, didn't it? Friday morning challenges. There we go. Okay, let's try one. Let's see what we got when we try doing one. Portrait, shall we? So I have got a lot of this ready. So there's gorgeous grape card base and mossy meadow. And then we have our basic white piece. Oh, I did not score this. I have cut my designer series paper. This is from the Cute as a Bug stuff. And it wasn't really directional. It almost looks directional when you do some of it, but I think we can get away with stuff on angles. Okay, scissors. Um, Directional paper can be a challenge with this. I have one more card to show you where I dealt with directions. So we'll talk about that in a couple minutes. But in the meantime, let's get this going. Okay, let's bring this in to do my scoring. So make sure you have your, so now, okay, here's the challenge. Get the score lines right. Not that they're any different, still 1.5, okay? But you sort of need to decide which edges you want it on, because you can, of course, put everything on the other side, right? For this card, instead of being over here, we could have reversed it all and had it over here, depending where you do your score lines. That just seemed a little too challenging this morning when I was kind of playing with it, so we've opted not to do that. Okay, so again, we are going to lay these out so that we can see that we're getting everything lined up in the proper places. Am I in the camera? Not. I could be up a little bit. Okay, so again, remember on the last one, we had the corners in the top right corner. So here's my top right corner. I should start here. Top right corner. I was, twisting my eyes. And then you just want to make sure you have all your pins coming into your wheel. There we go. Whoop. This should be like that. Okay, so this is why you glue stuff down. Okay, but that, can you kind of see? Because every time I touch everything, everything moves. That's going to be our pinwheel. Okay, silicone mat. Let's bring this in here and get things glued down. I think the big thing to remember with these is you want to cover the top right corner. Then you just need to get your papers lined up appropriately. It is easiest, you said, to put it down around your score lines, just so you can kind of get that visual of, yes, this works, because this is, this is the top right corner of my paper, but it's the upside down side of it. So, because this is going to get flipped around on our card. Hope that makes sense. I don't know. Confused even me, though. Oh, one more. One more. Oh, down. Whoop, down low. Move that up there a little bit. Whole time. There we go. Hey. There we go. Okay. So there's our pieces. And now I am going to just slide these out to the edges a little bit. I'm going to bring this in, and we're going to start with this piece. I'm going to use this side too. That's kind of pinwheel-like right there in the paper, isn't it? I'm going to put this so I'm just above the horizontal score line and just over the vertical score line. Okay. And then we do this. And so now I am just to this edge of the vertical score line and just above the horizontal score line, which is going to line everything up as well. So if you get the first one placed properly, then you just kind of follow the pattern. Why does this not look right? This one should have been up. Should it have been up? Should have been up. Oh no. Oh dear. It should have been up here, and this is not. This is not going to work. Okay, so see, this is the tricky stuff. This is where you, oh goodness. Let's see if we can get this off of here without a heat gun. Liquid glue, it's fabulous. However, it does get very sticky very fast. I'm smushing it. If I can get out this edge. Okay, let's see. Ooh, doo doo. Can I straighten that out? I think it might be okay when we glue it down. However, oh, and if we turn it over, then the score lines are different. So I am going to start over. I have to run and get a piece of basic white, I think. I don't think this one's large enough. What is this? 4.5. No, that's not going to work. I shall return. Talk amongst yourselves. Oh dear. Okay, we'll try this again. See, this is it's, as I say, it's not difficult, but it's tricky. Okay, so what this is 5 by 3 3/4. And this is a cut. 3 3/4. So, and then we're going to leave our cutting. That is clearly not 5 by 3 3/4. Oh my goodness. Friday challenges. Is it a full moon or something? I don't know what 5 by 3 3/4. Try this again. You got to just laugh sometimes, right? Because otherwise you would absolutely cry. Okay, so 1.5 inches. Scoring blade. Turning it clockwise. 1.5 inches. Scoring blade. Try this again. Maybe I should have brought 2 pieces of basic white. Oh, no, be optimistic. Okay, so let's go back here again. And we are going to add a little bit more glue, and hopefully I can flatten out that little wrinkle. So, go here, up here. Let's not glue it to itself. I'm going to give this, I'm going to bring in my bone folder and just give that a really, really nice press with that so that it flattened out, and it did. So that is good. Okay, yeah. Let's try this again, shall we? Okay. Do I have this on the wrong side? this, these are in the same place. It shouldn't matter, but that doesn't go like that. This shouldn't matter, should it? That shouldn't matter. Okay. So I have this where this is ish, because now see, oh, look, see, this is backwards. Hmm. Okay, let's see if we can work. I don't know whether this one might not work. We might have to abandon this. This. I had it laid out though. It's not working. I wonder if this should have been up here. I don't have another piece of paper, and I don't know that I can get this off again. Oh, quite the challenge. Yes, you know what? This one I have down, but it's when you start to change things. Um, so maybe we should just stick with the one. Oh yeah, this is not just not going to come off of here nicely this time, I don't think. We'll see. Oh boy. This one's going to need a heat tool. So, dental floss is fantastic for taking mistakes off and not ruining your papers. However, if you used liquid glue, it gets very sticky very fast. But if you use your heat tool, and I don't think I have mine here right now, if you use your heat tool, it will melt the glue, okay? But, sorry, gang, we are going to abandon this. I will see if I can put together that orientation after, maybe when the camera turns off, you know? I don't know. Oh, goodness. Okay, so we still have three cards because here's the third one that I was going to show you. This is same orientation as well, but this one was using directional paper. Okay, so I thought, I don't know. So what I did was I flipped these two over and we had non-directional on that side. I also used, can you see the pattern there? Designer series paper for this. So you don't have to use cardstock squares. You can use designer series paper squares. You could do these with cardstock and you could emboss them. I mean, those possibilities are pretty limitless. However, it's the patterning. So I think I need maybe to do it all on this side. I don't, it should work. There should be a way to make that one work. Apparently, that is my challenge now to see if I can get that to work because I'm giving up here. It was not coming together, and I think I need to take paper off and lay it down and plan it out just a little bit differently. But anyway, let me come back here. So I wouldn't say it was an epic fail, but yeah, it was not what I was hoping for. We'll maybe get the outcome fixed afterwards. So we have three samples in the meantime. Okay. Thank you so much for watching my funny farm show and watching me mess up and fix up and mess up. And yeah, it was Friday challenges, but not quite all of them. So have an awesome weekend, everyone, and come back for more crazy shenanigans next week. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.